Welcome back to the HANA Café, the Netherlands. And SAP TechEd Season 2022 has just started with a keynote by Jürgen Müller. And what a keynote it was. It was fully packed with all the important topics for this new year. And all related, of course, to SAP technology. And to get one statement, one of this last statement. We help you to build your future. I think that's a nice statement to use the SAP Business Technology platform for. We're going to do the evaluation of the keynote with you, but also with the community here on site. Welcome to HANA Café, the Netherlands.
Welcome to HANA Café Nederland with Coen, Sanderink, Jan Penninkhof en Twan van der Broek.
Welcome back, and we have now the second part of the TechEd keynote, is the evaluation. We're going to do first the general impressions about the keynote, then we go into the topics of data and analytics, of AI, and low-code, no-code, process automation, or you can better say SAP build right now. And so we start with first the general impression of the keynote. Koen, what did you think?
Yeah, it was my first keynote, so it was actually quite interesting. I made quite some notes, of course, about SAP build. That was one important thing. And what I learned, what I didn't know, is the difference between ABAP and Java. I didn't know that. That was not a highlight, but that was for me something that I thought, oh, that was an.
Okay.
How do you call it?
You don't have a coding background.
No, I don't. Yeah, I know the difference between ABAP and Java, of course, as a language.
I'm going to buy you a book.
but
for dummies.
But that are different programming languages.
Yeah, okay.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Jan.
And you, Jan, you gonna buy me a book?
Yes, I'm
else?
going to buy you a book. Well, I think TechEd needs an audience. That was quite clear. I can still remember the last year's TechEd, which was, I think, fully virtual and stuff. And it was over like 45 minutes. And then everyone that was watching the keynote was like, is this it? And now it's a fully fledged, real TechEd conference style, worthy keynote again.
Yeah,
awesome.
with live
You're
coding
happy.
on stage.
With live coding on
Not by Jürgen.
and live demos on stage.
Live demos, and they're going wrong, so the demo goes through haunting Las Vegas. But it was strong to come out of that issue that he had with the connection to the cloud or to the internet probably, because but he did a good job.
Yep, someone's going to get hurt tonight.
Yeah, Daniel was not happy. Yeah, no. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, there was a lot of said. A lot of announcements. Let's go to you, to the on-site.
Yeah, I
audience.
mean the difference between RAP and CAP. That was what I mean. That are two different development environments. Just to come a little bit back, that I'm not totally.
I'm going to buy another book.
Okay, thank you. That will be quite some books.
Yeah. Okay. Who wants to share experience on the keynote? Martijn. Yeah. Can you because you did not join the first session, but can you go to the microphone, please, so that everyone can hear you?
Stand here?
For the online people.
Yeah.
And watch to us. Then.
All right,
Then it's fine.
I really liked it.
So maybe Martijn from Capgemini.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah. Martijn from Capgemini. I've been working with BTP for I think the last 2 or 3 years, and it feels like things are coming together now. SAP Build, ABAP Cloud. For sure, it helps to have these quite catchy names. I think makes it easier for me to, and I think for all of us to explain to our colleagues and to clients like what it is. But also with Build, and I'm mostly focusing on the app development things, it all comes together. Things that people think about, where does it exactly fit, like AppGyver, Work Zone, it now all has a place. So quite exciting to get hands-on with it and try what we can do with it.
App what?
SAP Build.
Yeah. SAP Build apps.
SAP Build apps.
It's Engel from the past.
It's as predicted, right? There's going to be renaming all over the place.
Yeah, but so quickly, it's good. Yeah, it helps.
I think it's
Cool.
much better SAP Build apps than AppGyver. It's more SAP-like. Don't you agree?
Yeah, we still have people calling it MacGyver, so I think it helps to
Yeah, it
have a new
helps.
name.
That's only people with grey hair that have watched actually the TV series from.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
even run it on Windows, not on Mac only.
That's true, yeah. That's true. So, Like the new name.
Sorry.
Okay, what's in your order? Yeah. Okay,
Wah,
yeah.
wah, wah.
Sorry about it, yeah?
Yeah, no, that's it. I think that's my main takeaways. And SAP BTP is the choice.
That's good.
What more can we say?
Yeah. Share the
Yeah.
enthusiasm on the platform. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Thank you very much,
Thanks.
Martijn. Yeah. Any other notes from the Accenture guys? Victor?
Yeah, so Victor, Accenture, so doing a lot of integration. So it's also
So you
always
must
good
be happy.
to see it there, but yeah, then they did a nice demo API management. We've been doing that for a while now, so that was not that new. I was hoping to see then a bit more about it was Edge integration cell now. I think it's already the third name that we had for it now. I hope to see a bit more of that one. Or see, I have some sessions on that one, but
Yeah.
maybe next year.
Yeah.
But,
But was it something that you missed? Is it something that you expected but was not there in the keynote on the integration topic?
no, I think it's already a quite broad suite that they have now, so it's the small things that they need to.
I think if you look
Make
at integration, but maybe I'd like you to hear your opinion. What we heard today was not really new, but it's getting maybe more stable, more professional then, because the more integration with Open Connectors, it's something we hear already for a few years. Integration is one of the most important topics in enterprise architecture. So it's about integration, it's about API management, it's about availability of ready-to-run content. But it's maybe, do you expect something else in there? More future-like, maybe you want to have automatic integration.
I think that's good as well, but I think they need to make a lot of small changes to the system. I think if you look at API management, for example, the tool is not as nice as some other competitor tools that are out there now.
Yeah.
I think with some small tweaks, they can be a lot better on those.
What type of tweaks?
Well, I think the developer portal for API management, a nice search engine would be nice in there, for example, and that kind of
For the usability.
kind of tweaks.
Yeah.
And I think what you
Fair
said,
point.
it's already getting a lot of better. A couple of years ago, I had to show SAP Cloud integration to clients, and then also somebody showing MuleSoft and all the other tools. And then sometimes I was a bit embarrassed showing the SAP tooling, but it's not anymore now.
Ooh. Yeah, okay,
So they really grow in their capabilities, so that's good.
which is good. Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Victor. Yeah. Feedback from you? Yeah. Oh, you have made notes.
Oh,
That's really
yeah,
good.
it looked
You
quite
paid attention.
professional.
Very
So
good.
we're quite
yeah.
curious.
On the digital world.
We only have 3.5 minutes left. So
Okay, so actually quick notes.
Yeah.
So we didn't hear much on the unified platform kind of a thing, which was actually going rounds, which was okay for me because strategy-wise, I'm actually looking at a more stable point of view. So it was good. So no new things actually coming up there, but at the same time, I saw there was a bit of data intelligence was actually had gone out of the on the PPT or the slide, but the data warehouse cloud was in the middle. But then when I saw, I think Marc's, where they actually commented they were using data intelligence cloud. So I think actually data intelligence cloud is still actually part of the main strategy which SAP is actually going forward, or getting it into data warehouse cloud, which I am thinking. But at the same time, I'm also actually happy from an architectural point of view. We are actually coming out of a data hub perspective to a data mesh point of view. So I saw API management actually giving that flexibility, kind of giving a data mesh capability, which is quite important because we don't want to swamp the data into a data lake and then create a big, which was actually quite important. So actually that was my biggest takeaway.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay. And Annie, are you going to share some TechEd news with your colleagues? Oh, yeah. Sorry. First, I have to ask you. Yeah.
The question was?
Whether you're going to share some TechEd news with your colleagues?
Yeah, for sure, and especially I think the sub build, so the app giver, and I have to explain it a couple of times, and they said, "How is it called?" And then they said, "You know MacGyver?" I said, "No." Okay, then,
Yeah, too young.
So that's good. So that it will do what it says. Build. But we're discussing with Raghav, our implementation partner from Cognizant. So you talk about the triangle, business SAP and the implementation manager for us is that Cognizant. And I was talking to Raghav that we have a lot of data warehouse solutions, and we don't want to compete from finance perspective with those data warehouse solutions. So Data Intelligence Cloud for us it was a good name, and okay, we store data, but it's not. And now the name is gone, and it is data warehouse. So internally we have a struggle to come up with. Oh, we will use SAP data warehouse.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah. So that was the first part of the second show. Wrap up. General impressions of the keynote. Visual cloud functions. Trigger-based integration. Some live coding and demoing. Great statements. I think enough to process, enough also to rewatch the keynote, which is available on the SAP TechEd YouTube channel as well. And now we have 20 seconds left.
Go on.
Go on. Second topic for today is data and analytics, and I'd like to invite Nick Verhoeven at the table. And that means that we're going to talk with Nick about, of course, the keynote that we just said. But if you have any question on the topic of data analytics, please be free to ask Nick as well. What we will do is we do a short introduction and also a short ending, because we're going to use the three topics that are coming as separate videos as well. And I had to do that before we started with the second show. Excuse me. But now you already have skipped 15 seconds of Nick's
well, we'll manage it. We'll manage it.
Dan voor technical, okay, dankjewel. SAP TechEd 2022 just kicked off with the keynote by Jürgen Müller. Very important topics were announced, also on the data analytics part. And I'm really happy here at HANA Café Netherlands to have Nick Verhoeven at the table. You're the solution manager for planning and analytics, and you know a lot about data and analytics. My first question, Nick, for you is, what is your impression of the keynote?
Well, at the beginning I was thinking, when are we going to get to data and analytics, and I was afraid it was just going to be SAP build. But I was actually quite happy with the announcement, and to the comment of Cognizant, we have a stable strategy in the data and analytics space. So you see a continuation of what we were doing. So I was actually quite happy with what I saw and expected.
Okay. Yeah, it would be, if it was a surprise for you, it would be strange. Yeah. So if you have any questions for Nick, also for the people that are watching on site, if there are any questions, then let us know. Then we can ask the question to Nick. Let me see. I should have write more.
Yeah, I'm actually interested about the unified story part. That was new for me, but a lot was new for me. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah, sure. So the story in essence is the object in which you create dashboards, reports within SAP Analytics Cloud. And what we always had and still have today is that you have to make a decision. Do you want to make a more coding intensive application for which you use application design, or do you use a more business friendly interface which is more drag and drop, easy to build, which is the story?
Yeah.
The unified story actually means that you bring these two objects into one single design time artifact, or the unified story, which sounds a lot better. And with that, it's a lot easier to create an application with drag and drop, low cost of ownership. But then if you want to extend it with scripting capabilities for a specific guided planning application or something of the likes, you can do that. You can take each and every object within the story and modify it with script. So it takes a lot of extra capabilities within the tool.
Okay, interesting. And they also talked about low code, no code. How does that relate to SAP Build, or is that really a stupid question?
I'd rather not say it's stupid, but it's not related indeed.
Okay.
So you see.
Thank you.
He's very polite.
Yeah, I always say the only question that's not asked is a stupid question. So.
But you raise a good point though, because if you think about this unified story, I think about the example of Colgate. Colgate is one of our major customers within SAP Analytics Cloud, And they actually first went with application designer because it was more guided for the end user. And later on, it was too much development effort to maintain all the application designer stories. So they decided to migrate to the story. And now you no longer have to make that choice. And you only have to maintain one single type of object. And that really is leaps and bounds forward from where we were in the essence of maintenance of objects, but also the capability to extend what you already have if need be.
Yeah, so it is a lot easier.
Yes.
Okay.
So, but then also this really major functionality announcement for Analytics Cloud is of course the
Undo,
redo.
Yeah!
Well, tell the story. Is there no undo and redo in Analytics Cloud?
So the predecessor of the unified story is optimized view mode. So that's the iteration of the story itself. And basically before that we indeed did not have undo redo. So every time I deleted an object on the story, I shouted a little bit at the computer. And you always had to be a little bit ashamed when you
Bring it back.
told your customers that we don't have an undo redo, but it's been on the roadmap for a few years. So it sounds like a small feat, but we're very happy that it's here. And if you move from optimized view mode with an auto migration to the unified story, you automatically have the undo redo, and as you expect.
And this migration, is it going smooth and simple?
So the migration from story to optimized view mode has taken a little bit of effort also on the customer side, but the optimized view mode as the predecessor to the unified story will allow for an auto migration without those issues. So that's what I'm excited about on that aspect.
Okay. And the other big announcement in your topic was to create videos, TikTok style. So are we going to see you dance with data?
Of course. We try, and then you see it also with the acquisition of Ask Data, we try to bring new ways to bring the data to the consumer of that data. And we do it in a trusted sense, but then you have to make it exciting and you want more people to interact with it. It's no longer the CFO sitting at his desk getting a report. No, you need to make it exciting to each and every type of audience, and with the new generations entering the workforce, you need to keep it exciting for them as well to make sure that they are data driven as opposed to just gut feel.
Yeah.
But with the TikTok style, is there also a video editor suite in it, or I find it difficult to
It's very
to
much
grasp?
in the exploratory stages.
Okay.
So there's no video editor in those platforms. We're still getting there, but these are the things that we're thinking about, elaborating, and the influence portal is a place where you can influence if you like TikTok videos or maybe more enterprise reporting.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. I found it actually quite interesting. Maybe you could integrate it with an API within TikTok, so you can easily drag and drop.
Bring
publish
the
it.
data to China.
Publish
For-
enterprise data.
Yeah, it's an idea.
It's definitely
Directly to China.
No, but okay, we can make fun of it, but I think it's good to explore new possibilities to do with your data, and also to attract the new workforce that are joining and leaving the universities right now. And so we are used to paper reports, but they are not. No. Okay. Yeah.
Maybe one thing that I'd like to add.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, of course.
And that is the point raised by the member from Cognizant as well, and that is the combination of Data Warehouse Cloud, Data Intelligence Cloud, and SAP Analytics Cloud. And implicitly, it's been mentioned in the keynote that these three platforms are more and more converging, and that actually brings forward the frontier that is so important for being data driven, and that is having confidence in the data that you have is saying what it should be saying, making sure that it's within context. And in this new world of data fabric, data mesh, you need to connect more and more types of sources, and you need to add semantics so people understand it, and then bring it to your end user, either TikTok or reporting style. And the convergence of these platforms allows for a single catalog, meaning you have your unified story, and by clicking it you can find, oh, what's the data lineage, where is it coming from, which sources is it coming from, what type of manipulations did we do before it ended up in this report. And this end-to-end view is actually what enables being data driven. And we were right on the money with the local event a few weeks ago here, the data to value event, when we said context was so important, and the main hurdle for being data driven is data quality and governance. And by bringing these together, we can bring trusted data from a variety of sources, federating that data, but keeping context and also maintaining semantics and a cataloging functionality to understand what you're actually looking at. And I think that is really key, and that is where Data Intelligence Cloud comes into Data Warehouse Cloud as a single solution. But that's really exciting, and that's a continuation of the strategy that we have.
It helps you getting better insight on even quicker than before.
And trusted insights.
and trusted insight, and then you can make the right predictions instead of predictions that are wordless.
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, thank you very much. Any questions on the data analytics part from the audience over here on the side? Question that you want to ask Nick? No? Then Nick, maybe are there any sessions on the agenda that we really should attend in the TechEd? Oh,
Where to start?
So I have a list of 60. No, I have two. So we were speaking about this convergence of solutions or as platforms, and there is a session on the future of data management and data warehousing. So that's DA110, and it speaks about this convergence, how it brings it together, and also what is the future that we envision, and that's now coming closer and closer to being a reality. DI already being in DWC, and starting next year, SAC being completely integrated within that part.
okay.
Second, so the unified story is something that's quite exciting, and this is create your analytics and planning applications in one design time artifact. So that's DA161, and it is a workshop bringing all of those elements together. How does it look? What can you actually do? Because it's new, the user interface, but it's also old. So it's the story and the application designer in one, and how can you work with it? So that's a really good session.
Okay, thank you very much. And that came to the data marketplace has also been discussed. Is it what is a data marketplace?
So the data marketplace is a part of Data Warehouse Cloud where you can actually monetize your data, and also vendors can monetize data. What can that mean? Think about the use case of retailers. Retailers have receipts, they have transaction data, and they can repurpose and sell that transaction data to vendors like Nielsen. And Nielsen packs that up together to provide insights to consumer products companies, so that they understand what is being sold in what type of quantities at an aggregate level. So what is doing well, what's not doing so well.
That's a different use case than I had in mind, because there are a lot of marketplaces also in SAP built, and I thought, hey, maybe you can put in some data flows that you can use for your own data, but it's more about selling your data to a third party.
And reusing it. You can imagine, so planning was discussed. If I'm doing trade promotion management, that Nielsen data is quite interesting. And if I don't have to maintain the flows and structures to get that as a part of my TPM process, but also the TPM process part of the financial planning process, and aligning those different layers, that's possible if it's within a single platform.
Yeah. All right. Hey, the music.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Nick. Thank you very much. Sharing your insights on data and analytics on the TechEd Keynote 2022. Hope you enjoyed this small session about data and analytics. There is a lot more to be found on the SAP TechEd news channel on YouTube, and also the news guide on the SAP TechEd, where you can find all things that have been announced on TechEd 2022. Okay, then we can change, and then we go to Zoom, I guess, to Hadi. Hopefully.
Yeah, is he online?
I think he was, because I... Oh, it's time. Let me get...
Hi guys.
Oh, there is...
Hi.
Yeah. Hi. Oh. Hold on. Pin. And I'll get rid of this one. Hi Hadi, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. Then we will first do a small introduction on the topic, and then we will ask your feedback on TechEd Keynote. Yep. SAP TechEd 2022 has just started with the keynote by Jürgen Müller. A lot of interesting topics, a lot of interesting demos has been shown. And now in HANA Café Netherlands, we are going to deep dive into the topic of artificial intelligence, AI in short. And I'm really happy to be joined here at the table, of course, by the regulars Coen and Jan, but also by our guest, Hadi Hares, Product Management on Artificial Intelligence at SAP. Hadi, welcome in our HANA Café. The first question.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yeah, the first question, Hadi. What is your first impression on the keynote?
Broad topics, a lot of topics. I'm really excited about it. It's needing a lot of to digest actually as of now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's also my experience from the past years. I have to rewatch the keynote 2 or 3 times to all the information that has been packed together, and then okay, yeah. But even for you, that's interesting, because you're from product management and I'm not. So I thought you were close to the fire, right?
Well, for my track AI definitely, but for all the other tracks, right? Not. So also for me it is learning. So tech is all about learning.
But are you not a little bit, it's only the community that's watching and looking at this video, but are you not a little bit disappointed that the AI was in the back and only short of middle amount of time that Jürgen spent on AI?
Not really disappointed, because he brought up the main important key aspect for it, embedded AI, and what we are driving there. And there are maybe reasons for not having it as full-fledged in the tech keynote, because build is much bigger, data analytics is much bigger, integration is much bigger. In an enterprise context, AI plays a keynote, of course, but you need to have it somewhere to put into it to create value. So actually, from that perspective, I'm okay with that, of course.
Okay, what was also a little bit of a nasty question, of course. But can you give us can you give us an example of embedded AI?
So we have a lot of cases where we have embedded AI. So maybe from Concur. Yeah? Within Concur, we have an intelligent solution that scans receipts or invoices and gets into the system, right? And for that, we have our business service, document information extraction inside there, where they use this. So the Concur solution uses us to extract those information out of the receipt.
Is that also the service that we used on the built and automated process tool?
That was the document extraction service. And yes,
Yeah,
and I see
okay,
Peter
so
nodding, so that's
things are
that's
coming together.
interesting. yeah, these things are definitely coming together. But I think you make it also something smaller than it is, because when I talk to customers, I always start with AI. And why is that? Because it's everywhere. And sometimes you don't even notice that it's there. And I think that is the strength of how the strategy of the AI, the strength of the AI strategy of SAP, that you use it to make your work a lot easier and better without noticing it.
Yeah, but then still it's good to talk about that and to announce that, because
definitely.
Otherwise people think SAP is not doing anything with AI.
No, definitely. So it, to my opinion, to be honest, I missed it because I had to go to the loo. And I missed the topic, and I said to Jan,
But it was really short.
yeah, it was really, and I said to Jan, did I miss AI? And he said yes, and I said, well, come on, it was 2 minutes. But it was that short.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's all a matter of timing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
Jürgen mentioned it. There are 130 scenarios now available on AI within any SAP landscape. Is it then across all line of business scenarios, Hadi?
Yes, it's quite big, quite vast, right? It's not only about and AI is in this case not only about a specific business service or a specific custom scenario. It's also about all these things that are running on HANA. So thinking also HANA as an AI runtime, because you can run things. And we saw it even in the keynote. Running things directly on HANA is also a contender for ML or AI.
Yeah, that's
Right.
what Vitaly did, right? With his Jupyter notebooks and stuff. He was doing data science with predictive analytics.
Yeah.
So it's typically an example, I think, of what AI can add to such use cases. So analytics use case and data science use
Vitaly
cases.
was running it within the data analytics show.
He was running the Ukraine show.
Yeah, it's also an important topic. Yeah, okay. There are, what also was mentioned, there are a lot of use cases to be found on the sap.com website to help you to get inspired by availability of services or complete scenarios. Are those also available on the AI topic at the use case finder? I'm not sure what it is. The Discovery Center. Yeah.
Oh, so if you go to SAP.com or search for AI within SAP, right, or Discovery Center or in SAP.com, you will find a new list of all the key 4 processes that we have, like lead to cache and so on, where it's listed out how many AI-driven use cases are there. So you might want to look into that, and this comes up together to this 130 AI use cases.
Yeah.
Just to mention a few, it's like the Concur case, or even in S4 there are certain cases that enhances the overall solution with AI, even the end users don't know. That's really like Coen mentioned, it's more like the embedded case, so the process is easing up for you and make lives better, right?
Yeah. Okay. Any questions from the on-site audience on the topic of AI? Can you walk to the microphone, please? Sorry. But it's good for your steps, right?
Yeah,
Stay healthy.
Healthy.
Yeah. So so we saw actually marketplace with Data Warehouse Cloud. Yeah. So creating models and actually operationalizing these models into the processes, everything. So so you need actually data scientists. So the code, so the actual thing what was shown was using data intelligence to actually code the use the Jupyter notebook in the data intelligence to then actually access HANA ML libraries to do the processing, to do the data exploration actually. Yeah. So is there a kind of a marketplace where for the AI models, where because it keeps actually growing, so year on year you get new models actually coming into the markets and everything. Is there an interface that is actually planned where the marketplace is available for AI, where the developers can simply reuse it? Yeah.
Thank you.
So, good question. As of now, I'm not aware of a marketplace, honestly. A marketplace for models. Let's really be specific, because we have the data marketplace, as we heard earlier, right? So for models specifically, we don't have one as of now. There are certain concepts in the background, but keep in mind, data somehow you can govern, but models, it's as of now a bit hard. So of course I know other vendors also have that, but in an enterprise context with even protected data, even specific for, let's say, for a region or a line of business, you need to have those governance things on site, and that's where we struggle, at least as of now, and look into that, honestly speaking, right? Also, you need to think of what is more important, integrating AI into it, or just to have a marketplace. It's also really a prioritization thing. For me, at least, it's as of now much more important to seamlessly integrate AI into business processes or in other applications before we have a marketplace for searching over models.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the, how was it called, the hands-free enterprise. So I log on to my Fiori dashboard, and then Fiori says, hey, welcome back, Twan. I think today you want to create this sales order, or you want to process this financial item, because that's what I did in the past on a Tuesday or on a Wednesday or on a Thursday, but then the system is going to think along with me. That's, I think, also an example of embedded AI. Right?
Yeah, definitely. You can do that. You can do much more, right? So keep in mind, if you use Ariba, guided buying, there's this recommendation engine in the background where it looks at your behavior, and on the top of your behavior you get recommendations. Not like other vendors do it, like other people bought the same item recommended for you that you bought. It's the same item, why you should buy it again. It's more about what other bought in conjunction to the item. So in an enterprise context, right? So if you as a customer buy into Ariba to use it in your organization, you will get that also.
Okay.
So that's the scale that we want to have.
For developers, we do have, of course, those ready-made AI services on BTP. So I think when it comes down to the tech ed audience and developers and that sort of folks that are not really the end users. Oh, yeah.
You have to hurry up with your question because time is running out.
We have those ready-made services, and I also think we used to have those pre-trained models that you can extend, if you like, with your own imagery or that sort of thing. Maybe, I'm not sure if that's still a thing, but it used to be around.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a question to you, Hadi, whether those pre-trained models are still around.
Yeah, those pre-built services, as we call it, them AI business services, they are there and ready to use, right? I mean, you just subscribe to the service, and then train with your data if it's a custom model case, or you just use a service, input your data that you want to be inferenced, and then you get the the prediction out of it. So it's there, it's managed. You just need to subscribe to it and use it. And for one case, I even know that even it's state of the art. So for the document information extraction, it's even state of the art as of now, in the literature at least.
Okay. More AI coming to you next year, maybe TechEd 2023 or Sapphire even next year. Embedded AI. Thank you very much, Hadi, for your view on TechEd, and thank you very much for joining HANA Café the Netherlands.
Thanks a lot for having me.
Have a nice evening.
Thanks to you. You too. Bye.
Ja, bye. En dan binnen natuurlijk. En dan gaan we Marc pinnen. Replace pin. There's Marc.
Yeah.
But he's sleeping.
I don't know.
Marc? Oh.
Hello.
We have actually two guests now, huh?
Yeah, Marc
Yeah.
and Peter.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I thought the view was frozen. So again, I will do a short intro and then we will dive into this up because the music is coming really fast. If you
and loud. I know where the off button is.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah.
It works.
SAP TechEd 2022 has just started with a keynote by Jürgen Müller. A lot of interesting demos, a lot of interesting topics, and the most important topic, Koen's topic, is the low-code/no-code part, the process automation, and now of course called SAP Build. And I'm happy to have here in HANA Café the Netherlands two members of the product management team, Marc Huber via Zoom and Peter Engel here in the studio on site. Welcome, guys.
Yeah, hi.
Peter, maybe I can start with you. And then, what is your first impression of the keynote that we just watched together?
Yeah, I think, of course, we are as a product area for SAP Process Automation in the past, now SAP Build Process Automation, are proud that we are the major topic of the keynote today. So that also underscores that, how important this topic is for SAP, and that we invest also here a lot, so that we bring really things together. It's not only to say we have here SAP Build and that's it. We will, I think, talk later that there is also roadmap items which underscore that we want to develop here a closer integration so that it really comes together and it's not only branding.
Yeah. Okay. Marc, same question for you. What's your first impression of the keynote that Jürgen just gave?
Yeah, I think we are all from the former Fiverr team are really happy that we successfully could launch our new product today with Visual Cloud Functions, the business logic functionality, and we were successful even if we had a little error during the keynote in the live demonstration from Daniel, so I'm really sorry for that.
Yeah, but it's really powerful to give a live demo because then you really believe in your own solutions. Yeah, it's a pity that it didn't work out, but
I think you can be really proud of it that you tried it.
Yeah.
It's it's interesting.
Yeah. Did you already notice that we have three of a kind? So we have 3 SAP TechEd shirts, and now we have two code. No, not two code shirts. So
two code, not two code shirts.
So you say this is 3 of a kind.
We still live in a majority, though.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. But Marc, you already mentioned it. Can you tell me something more about the Visual Cloud function? What is it? What does it do?
Yeah, we often got in the last months requests from customers that they have some ideas for some apps and they started to build the front end in AppGyver. But often they came to a point that they need some data persistency layer behind the application, and they were looking for a way how they could create data tables, data entities, and yeah, in most cases the citizen developers have to go to their IT department and ask if they can provide these databases with professional development tools. And with Visual Cloud Functions, we have now the possibility that also a citizen developer can easily create a data persistency behind an application. He can easily create data tables, and it automatically starts the whole infrastructure. So the whole runtime, the database, the service on top of it, and it will be available in the driver app that directly in the SAP build apps. I'm really sorry, I have to learn the new name.
Well, it's quite an evolution, because first we could only create the UI on top of existing services, but now we can create the whole stack from the beginning to the end using SAP build service.
Yeah, exactly.
So you mentioned will be available, so it's not available yet?
Sharp.
It's available since this afternoon.
Ah, cool.
Okay.
So we launched it directly before the keynote.
So can you imagine, Jan, when the early days when we first visited SAP TechEd, I think that's a few years ago, let's not count the years, but it's a few years ago, then stuff got announced, and then we had to wait until the customer did a major upgrade until we could use that stuff that was announced. At the
Yeah, and most of the times the upgrade was the previous year's version instead of the
This
next
is really
version.
powerful, so you have functionality and technology in the cloud, and it's available, it's announced and it's available. That's really great. And visual cloud functions.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. And Peter, also have an interesting question for you. That's the integration with Signavio. They call it the X-ray. I find that's quite interesting and quite
X-ray of your system.
of your processes.
processes.
X-ray of your processes. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah, that is the integration between Signavio Process Intelligence and then SAP build process automation. Yeah, I also have to learn that we have to build in after 2 years now. Yeah. The idea is that you can analyze your processes, you define some actions, what you want to do. For example, start a workflow that someone get an action item to do something in the system or something also manually. Yeah? That's not everything could be automated, but you have then an analysis in the Signavio process intelligence, and then you can directly click and you have a direct integration to process automation, to SAP build process automation without that you really see and recognize this. Yeah? You click, and there is an action, there's a list of actions you can do, then you click on it and then you get your task, or an RPA bot is executed in the background, and you can then immediately see the result if there is a direct effect on the system.
Ah, interesting. But he also says that he could recognize 135 or something pre-built automations.
Yeah.
Is that also AI involved? Because
no, that is only for, of course, as AI is involved in process automation, as a build process automation, we have also then AI involved. What we do here is more that we have in the Signavio process insights. We give recommendations that you have, if you are also there in problems, and so you see there's a bottleneck, that you can say then, okay, here is a bot available, for example, or here you need an automatic approval, and then you can also directly use the predefined content from the store, download it, implement it, and then you can use it. That is more a recommendation function.
Okay.
But this is rule-based. That is
okay.
not AI.
Yeah, and so rule-based, but there's now also trigger-based integration announced.
Yeah.
How is that linked to the event mesh? Because that event mesh is also trigger-based, right? Or am I now completely wrong?
It's the same terminology, I suppose. But
Yeah.
Not sure if it's related.
But is it related?
Yeah, that is related. Yeah, the event mesh consumes the triggers and can provide the triggers to the other applications. And we consume then these triggers to create then or to start an automation or to start a workflow. Now that is announced but not delivered so far. So it will come. It will come also in short notice, not in 2027 or something like this. So I think in the next 3-4 months. But it will come. That we can react on events in any SAP system. Is it an S/4HANA system or is it SuccessFactors? All these applications will give us events, and we can react on this.
Yeah. Okay.
After the floppies are written and then distributed, then the functionality will be available.
yeah.
Floppies.
Never seen.
I have grey hairs, yes, but also of today, I don't use floppies anymore.
It was also mentioned that there's this site called SAP Builders. What's that all about? The SAPBuilders.com site? Or is it not related to SPA? Or to
Build.me.
Build.me.
SAP Builders.
There was
the SAP Builders.
Yeah,
that is the old SAP build. What was I think 4 years or 5 years ago invented, but this is not available anymore.
It's a prototyping tool.
That was a prototyping tool where you can create mock-ups from a UI, and then also some coding stuff would be auto-generated. But this is.
I'm actually referring to something else that was just announced.
The final statement, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are there any questions from the audience?
Oh, good one.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for saving us.
You're welcome, guys. Any questions? Because this was the big announcement. Everybody also looks, it's already getting late.
And the SAP work zone, of course, also part of the SAP build. It's the drag and drop. It was also on the shirt from Jürgen. Drag, drop, and build. Build visually. Well, of course, with the Visual Cloud that can be done. But then also the work zone, drag and drop. Is that really new? I think with portals we already had drag and drop, right? In the past, you've been working on portals as well in the past.
Yeah, but this was more about the integration between whatever we have in the build suite, right? We call it a suite, right?
Okay.
Suite. And work zone, that's basically become part of it as the portal that allows you entry to all of these applications that you develop. I consider this more some sort of a governance type of thing, where eventually you have your applications and it's included in the catalog of applications that you have in work zone.
Yeah, that's not running somewhere standalone, but it's running within your work zone, and that you can pick and choose your.
In the video, in the background, you could saw that there was the onboarding process displayed, and that is a combination of work zone, SAP Build Work Zone, SAP Build Apps, and SAP Build Process Automation, where all these tools features comes together, and they are really integrated. And that's, I think, it's a good stuff where we want to go. That is the most important topic, that we integrate this in the work zone. You need, in the end, the low-code, no-code is one part to build something, but also you have to present this to the consumer. And therefore you need also then a really state-of-the-art platform to do this. And this is SAP Build Work Zone.
Okay. Any recommendations, Marc, from your side? What session do we really need to attend from the coming 2 days from SAP TechEd?
Yeah, of course, for SAP Build Apps, we have several sessions. For example, explaining Visual Cloud Functions in detail. One session is more focused about customer use cases. There's a very cool session from Sebastian with one of my customer, Qualtrics. They created an amazing app in SAP Build Apps. And tomorrow evening we have a hands-on session with the new functionalities of SAP Build Apps. So if you directly want to get your hands dirty, you can try out the system with us. We prepared a nice use case. So a lot of things that you can do.
Okay. Peter, from your side, any recommendation?
Same for SAP Build Process Automation. We have also some hands-on sessions. That is really important, and we show tomorrow, I think, for each component of SAP Build, how to use it directly, and also how to use it with our LOB solutions. So that is also important, that you can really use it with SuccessFactors, S4HANA, and
that's
so on.
interesting.
And we show also how to do this, and I think that is then really a real-world use case, and that's something that you have to look at.
Okay. Thank you very much, Peter. Thank you very much, Marc. And also for the recommendations. All TechEd sessions are of course available on the SAP TechEd YouTube channel. It's about drag, drop and build visually. Thank you very much, and hope you enjoy TechEd.
Dankjewel voor het luisteren naar deze aflevering van HANA Café Nederland. Heb je feedback voor ons? Laat het dan zeker weten. Wil je ook een keer aanschuiven in het café?
No questions online. Before we really close off, I'd like to Martijn and Bernard and Ilja, who are behind the scenes somewhere there, over there, operating the cameras and the mics. They do not all collaborate today, all mics, but they do. Martijn, Bernard and Ilja, thank you very much. Also Rick, Ian, Raven, Kadir, thank you very much for supporting us during the event. And thank you very much, Koen. Thank you very much, Jan, as regulars.
Thank you very much, Twan.
Thank you very much, Twan,
for cafe host. A bartender.
hosts and regulars of the HANA Café in the Netherlands. Thank you very much for watching. As said, all SAP TechEd sessions are available at the SAP TechEd YouTube channel or the SAP Developers YouTube channel. There are a lot of channels from only SAP, but there's also a lot of content to be shared. TechEd is just started. Enjoy all the sessions. Really catch up with the hands-on sessions because that's where you learn, where you get your hands dirty. And of course, the most important topic is to drag, drop and build with SAP technology. Because if you're using SAP technology, then you build your future. Or to have some one-liners from Jürgen Müller in one sentence. Thank you very much. This was HANA Café, the Netherlands.
Dankjewel voor het luisteren naar deze aflevering van HANA Café Nederland. Heb je feedback voor ons? Laat het dan zeker weten. Wil je ook een keer aanschuiven in het café? Stuur ons een berichtje en geef gelijk aan waar je het over wilt hebben. Tot de volgende keer!